Neri tukeri marioka magega yokorobekana okugukora wanobo mabwa Azimio One Kenya litkuligoro irio gupinga serikali litkulia rero omuske Raila Amolo Odinga uyole umurai bobo mabwa Azimio One Kenya ni ganyare ko bagagukwanira aba Kenya asate brebuna tari guchikonyara ko bagakorosa nagokora okorobekana okugwika amageni abo buna obo mabwa Azimio One Kenya anyare ko baga kuligereriwa asate brebuna aba Kenya bange ni go balinire obwene bwabo anene mono bali aba commissioner bali bakanite gose batanchiranite no bochori bonene bwa koregete omwaka weta abo banyarte ko baba gotigwa emiremo nigo agote abuna banyare ko baba kwiraniwa emiremo limo lioka nabo igo korigereria okomenya gose ogorigori rio liakinire rio komenya kwa manya bantu nabo igo koigorwa gwe server elio anyare banyare ko baba korora nigo nyarete ko baga kuira chikura kurinde onyayo nsitari ko chikonyara ko baga kurigereriwa nigo ago chikonyara ko genderera no korobekana ase atebire buna ritkoria Jumatatu no bebangete kigima gochia konyara gokora okorobekana okwo na kende nkeyo kera chikonyara ko ba gekubatenenia.
Particular diplomats in this country who represent other countries who call themselves development partners of Kenya. We want to tell them that democracy is democracy. There's no European democracy, American democracy, and African democracy. Democracy must be measured by the same standards universally. And that you cannot put development ahead of the democracy. Democracy must precede development. That is why we are so surprised to see this diplomat completely turning a blind eye to violation of fundamental human rights in Kenya in the name of development. And most of them having the audacity to misrepresent facts in our country. Like the American ambassador yesterday addressing American businessmen, saying that Kenya last year in August did the most transparent and democratic elections in the history of Kenya. I told her I did not know which country she was talking about. I didn't know which Kenya she was talking about. She had just been here for a few days before this election took place. And then the question I asked, you saw on the critical day, on the 15th of August, the Electoral Commission consisting of 7 members, the chairman and 2 other members saying yes, and 4 members saying no. And I said, if this happened in the United States or in Europe, would that kind of election be considered democratic? Would that election be considered transparent? 4 members of the Electoral Commission dissented. They said we do not agree the results which have been pronounced by Mr. Chebukati. Mr. Chebukati announced, but it was a minority. The Electoral Commission consisted of 7 members because it must be an odd number so that there is never a tie. If there's a division, there must be a winner. And in this case, for the first time we've seen that 3 is bigger than 4. So what we are trying to tell the international community, we Kenyans have a right to question what happened. If only to ensure that what has happened does not get repeated again in 2027. Those commissioners who dissented, who were majority, have been handed out of office as criminals. We've said this is not right. And then we also said that Kenyans have a right, in the light of new information that has emerged, that put to question the results which were announced by minority of members of the Electoral Commission. This is how democracy is built. This is how electoral democracy must be strengthened. And we have said that we do not want lectures from our development partners. We must allow Kenyans to make a decision of their own. And we will continue to question. And we have said that we will demand that the servers must be opened so that we can be able to interrogate the results in the servers. We have said, secondly, that all the 4 electoral commissioners who have dissented must be reinstated back to their positions. Thirdly, we have also said that we must address the issue of the cost of living in Kenya. With the view to lowering it, we must reintroduce the subsidies which were suspended by Mr. Ruto. And fourthly, we are saying that for parliamentary democracy to work, members of parliament elected on a political party's ticket or a coalition ticket must stick to those parties for the life of that parliament. If they resign or show for all practical purposes that they have resigned from their parties and are now voting with another party, that they've closed the aisle, they must resign and go back and face the electorate afresh. That is the only way in which we can be able to strengthen our parliamentary democracy. If you are elected on an ODM as a new ticket, and you now are dancing with Kenya Kisha and Uda, resign and come and pick the electorate here. Those are the irreducible minimum. The irreducible minimum that we are demanding as Azimio. And we will continue to demand. This is not negotiable. These are not negotiable, and these are rights of the people of Kenya. And we have said, the Constitution of Kenya provides in Article 1 that sovereignty in the Republic of Kenya rests with the people of Kenya. They can either exercise it directly as the people or through the elected representatives. But because the elected representatives are being bought in Parliament, we have decided to exercise the right directly at the people of Kenya. This is what we said. Secondly, Article 37 allows Kenyans to picket, Kenyans to assemble, to present petitions, and also the right to demonstrate, peacefully demonstrate. Our demonstrations are going to continue to be peaceful. They will continue to be peaceful, irrespective of what the police do, in spite of the provocation by the police. So we said yesterday, and I want to repeat it, we condemn in the strongest terms possible what happened yesterday, the attempt on our lives. And that must have been orchestrated and been planned from the very top. We don't want to deal with the police officers. Police officers are just servants. As if a police officer would have no reason to come and shoot Raila Odinga. That police officer was instructed by Inspector General, was also instructed by the Minister, was also instructed by his superiors, the Deputy President and the President of the Republic of Kenya. And that's where we face our guns. On Monday, there will be the mother of all demonstrations in Nairobi.